Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another of Mark's 10-minute screen break sessions. This one is a practice session with the seated exercises. So if you haven't looked at, watched, done the seated exercises instruction video, please go back and watch that one first so that you get full instructions on the exercises that we're doing. Today I am going to talk through the exercises, but just as we do it. Other caveats: make sure that you don't have any objects in the way. Make sure you're clear of those. I'm just about clear of my printer. And of course, make sure if you have heels on, you just kick those shoes off. Otherwise, you keep your shoes on. And if you've got any colleagues in your office, if you're doing this in your office, just check to make sure that they're comfortable with you running this video and doing the exercises while they're here. Okay, so seated exercises. Make sure you're in a good sitting position, so you need to have your seat fairly high so that your legs, let's go this way, so that your legs have an obtuse angle. They're more than 90 degrees rather than less than 90 degrees. You're sitting forward in the chair so that your sit bone is on the edge of the chair and 50% of your weight is in your feet, and a little bit forwards so that you don't have all of your weight compacting into the small of the back. It brings it forwards into the abs so that you can support your body weight a lot better. Actually, this is a good way to sit anyway, as well as just when you're doing your screen breaks. Okay, the hands we're going to have either side of the knees roughly, and I'd like you to stretch the spine. So you're trying to lift the head up, keeping that forwards lean a little bit. Essentially, you're stretching the front of the spine, so you're kind of like breathing. You can breathe in up the front of the spine. That will stretch the front of the spine and bring the head back on top of the shoulders. Then, keeping the shoulders soft in the vertical direction, shift them that way. So you're just trying to elongate a little bit or move sideways. And then make that stretch go right the way down the full length of the arms. It's not a vigorous stretch, it's just a gentle lengthening of the arms slightly, yeah? And then the hands are either side of the knees, as I said, or maybe a little bit behind them. From here, you're just going to lift the pelvic floor, pull the navel backwards pull the belly backwards towards the spine, and breathe in at the same time, and rotate the arms and the shoulder joints. You ready? Let me just set my stopwatch so that we're doing this for 5 minutes. So, as I've said in the past, I'm doing these videos live deliberately because I want it to be as close to a proper live session as I can get, so mistakes aren't going to get edited out. Are you ready? Let's go. Breathing in, sucking the pelvic floor up, pulling the belly back, stretching the spine, breathing out. All the way around, back down to the bottom. And we're going to keep doing this for about 5 minutes, a little bit less actually. And again, breathing in, rotating so the palms of the hands are facing the ceiling, the fingertips are nearly touching, breathing out, opening out to the sides and following through. Slightly different to the standing version, but more or less the same. Except of course that you're sitting. And again, breathing in, try to feel the spine stretch, try to lift the head up towards the ceiling. Try not to arch the back backwards. This sort of action causes you to want to arch the back. Try and keep the spine in its usual position. I don't want to say straight because that's not its usual position. And again, breathing in, breathing out. When you breathe out, keep the pelvic floor lifted up gently because we don't want to breathe out through there. And again, breathing in, vigorously lifting up the pelvic floor, vigorously pulling the navel backwards towards the spine, keeping it just gently relaxing a little bit as you open out, breathing out, keeping the pelvic floor lifted up, keeping the spine stretched, and keep that manic smile fixed on your face. Breathing in again. Breathing out. Try to let the shoulders lengthen out sideways, yeah? As you're coming down. And again, breathing in, keeping the shoulders soft. Try not to lift the shoulders up. Try and keep those soft. But then as you're opening out and breathing out, try and stretch right the way down the full length of the arms from between the middle of the shoulder blades, yeah? So there's a full stretch coming from the center of your body. And again. We're more than halfway now. If you're feeling any pain, if you're getting any stabbing pains, please stop immediately. If you're getting aches, tingles, discomfort of any other kind, try to work through it, but be gentle on yourself, yes? If it gets too much, do stop. Also, try and maintain your focus on how you've got your body weight between the sit bone and the balls of the feet, yeah? So the feet should be taking 50% of your body weight, sit bone taking the other 50%. Breathing in. Breathing out. It's almost like you're breathing out through the palms of your hands. Breathing in. By the way, if you've got a mirror, you might find it helpful to have a mirror in front of you as well so that you can see how close to copying me you're doing. But actually the important thing really is the internal movement, this breathing. Yeah. So because you're pulling the belly back when you're breathing in, you need to really relax the chest cavity, the intercostals, the muscles that sort of separate the ribs. You need to relax them so that your lungs can fill with air. Because you're pulling the belly in, you're preventing the diaphragm from moving down a little bit. This is an exercise on the diaphragm. Why? Because the diaphragm tends to hold a lot of tension, particularly if you're having a bit of an emotional roller coaster ride with your life at the moment, or a lot of anxiety, or just a lot of stress, yeah? That can give rise to tension in all parts of the body, all sorts of parts of the body, but particularly problematic can be the diaphragm. So by exercising the diaphragm in this way, it's giving it a chance to let go a little bit, yeah? So by the time we finish doing these exercises, which is going to be after the next one we do, the diaphragm, without you realizing it, has become much more relaxed. There we go. So, just making sure you're still forwards in the chair. Pop the hands between the legs, arms pretty relaxed, and then with a little bit of effort, but not a lot, make the arms cross in front of the midline of the body, and then use the shoulders mostly to shake the hands and the arms, yeah, because the arms are fairly relaxed, using the muscles in the shoulders to make this shake. So basically any remnants of discomfort that may be present in the arms and the hands are kind of getting shaked out. I don't have a scientific theory for this, but I just have my own personal evidence and other anecdotal evidence that it works. It actually makes that sensation, discomfort go away. Probably to do with getting endorphins circulating through the arms, and also a peristalsis effect on the lymph. There. So we're done with the physical exercise. Now we're ready to actually allow ourselves to have a 5-minute brain break. Yeah, so we're going to just lower our alertness levels down a little bit, but keeping this really good posture in our in our seat. Still got 50% of the weight in the balls of the feet, still got 50% of the weight in the sit bone. The hands, I would say you can either have them here or here. Here being about halfway along the thighs, palms of the hands facing up. As you can see, my hands are quite relaxed. The shoulders are relaxed, the arms are relaxed. But you've got a little bit of a gap underneath each armpit by having the elbows out sideways a little bit. Still stretching the spine. Yeah, so you've got a force going into the ground, pushing into the ground very gently, about 5 grams, I would say. Yeah, or maybe a bit more, maybe 5 ounces, through the feet, so that you can then create a force to go up the spine. Head sat on top of the shoulders. And once you're there in this nice position, you can just allow the eyelids to relax across the eyes. Just allow the eyelids to relax and all of the muscles in the head, particularly the face, to soften. But you've got muscles right the way across the head, or it certainly feels like you have, so you can feel at the top of the head relaxing, can't you? The muscles around the ears, and the jaw, and the nose, the cheeks. Still keeping this good posture, this good seated posture. Allowing the levels of alertness to gradually soften, to just go down a little bit more. And as you do so, draw your awareness into the center of your head. Just feel it all contracting into a point, or a blob if you can't quite make a point, to a place where you believe is the center of your head. And your sensation of that can be a kinesthetic sense of feeling. You can feel what it's like to be in the center of your head. You can feel as if there's something in the center of your head. Two perspectives. Try both. And as your levels of alertness start to drop a little bit more, you'll probably become aware of the sounds around you starting to sort of wash over that point in the center of your head, so that you can become an observer. You can pay attention to them, but they're not a part of you anymore. And similarly with your vision, you can try to perceive your vision from that point. And again, now that you're there, keep allowing your levels of alertness to drop, so that you're going towards sleep. You're not going to fall asleep unless you really need to. And it's okay if you do, because I'll wake you up again in a minute. If your body needs sleep, that's really important. But just halfway between awake and asleep is absolutely perfect. So just allow yourself to be there whilst being in the center of your head, the place. Do we suggest the thoughts originate, so that you can observe your thoughts? Rather than be a part of them. And I'm going to go quiet now for a few moments. When I start talking again, I'll talk you through how to bring yourself back out. Okay, so just following the sound of my instructions. Start to allow that point of awareness, make it grow. Allow it to grow or make it grow, whatever works for you. So that it's gradually filling up your head until you can feel the surface of the skin on the face, the top of the head, behind the head, all over. And then it starts to move down the neck as well, filling up the neck and across the shoulders, filling up the arms, right the way down to the tips of the fingers and the palms of the hands. You can really feel the sensation there because it's so sensitive. It's filling up the torso as well. Going right the way down to the pelvic cavity and through the hips and down the legs. Gradually filling up right the way to the tips of the toes and the soles of the feet. Another really sensitive area. And when you're there, hopefully you can feel, to a certain extent, every part of your body, the surface of the skin, encasing it. As you've done that, you may have noticed that your level of alertness has risen back up again. And it's gradually rising further and further. You just want to allow it to come back to the here and now, come back to the normal level of alertness. Once you feel ready and no sooner, that's your cue to allow the eyelids to open and to start taking in your surroundings and becoming a part of your surroundings again, back to the here and now. And we're pretty much done. We've overrun actually by a few minutes, so I apologise about that. It's a live video, so, and actually I would recommend that you, if you've got an extra bit of time, lunchtime, or perhaps after dinner, it's a good time to actually have a little bit longer, maybe 10 minutes doing the meditation. You'll find that you'll be much more refreshed and much more able to work your way through the rest of the day. Thank you very much for watching, for joining in and engaging, and I do look forward to recording another video for you very soon. Bye bye for now.